Today, I will go over how to start off your playthrough using my collection Living in Infamy on the Nexus Mods website. Before you do anything, open the mod configuration menu by pausing the game and clicking on Mod Config. You're going to want to configure some settings before you actually enter the Commonwealth to avoid any issues. The first mod that it will go to is Complex Vendors. You don't have to change anything here unless you want to. The next mod is the Crafting Highlighting Fix. Again, you don't have to change anything here. Now for the Cough mod, these settings are ultimately up to you and your personal preference, but here is how I configured mine. And another thing, to avoid any conflicts, make sure to toggle cough animation off. For immersive animation framework, make sure to toggle the bottle cap pickup sound to on. The next mod is Jump Grunt. You can decrease the chances of grunting when jumping, but you can leave these settings as is. I personally like to have the AP cost set to 5. The following mod is SKK Combat Stalkers. You don't have to change anything here, but if you want a challenge, you can toggle the Spawn Hostile Patrol and Vertibird to on. I personally just like turning on the Hostile Patrol. The next mod is an optional one, but if you are using it, make sure you are in Survival. Toggle Carry Weight Reduction and Damage when over-encumbered to off, as this prevents a lot of stress. If you still want to fast travel, toggle No Fast Travel to off. I also turned off No Companion Auto Heal. For hunger, this is also up to you and how you like your playstyle. You can leave it as default, but I put the settings so that I get hungry slower. Same for thirst and sleep, you can leave them as is. But most importantly, since we have a few combat AI mods, make sure that for the combat and cell respawn options, move the slider for outgoing damage to 2, as this just balances it out and prevents any conflicts with the other mods in this collection. For cell respawns, I like having them reset fast, but you don't need to change any of this. For the needs display options, again, you don't have to change anything if you don't want to. Now to the most helpful settings. I hate how survival makes it to where it only saves when you sleep. You can copy exactly what I did in these settings, but essentially what I did is just toggle everything on. I also recommend setting your own personal save hotkey. I have mine set to the end keybind on my keyboard. And for these other mods, you don't have to change anything. After you're finished with all of these settings, you're done and ready to play. Now you're going to start getting lots of pop-up messages, as you can see on the top left of the screen. That means that everything is setting up. As soon as you take a step forward, a text box will pop up. This is where you choose how you want to start the game. You can go the usual route of starting a playthrough, or you can select a specific scenario in which you want your character to start. I'm going to select the option that allows me to pick how I want my character to start. I am going to put my name and select all of my special attributes. Next, I don't like having any traits, so I'm not going to choose one, but I do recommend having one as it makes the game just a bit more fun. Now for what I'm doing with my life, I'm going to pick Scavenger. This next one gives you the option to choose which location you want to start from. I'm going to pick Red Rocket. Gear-wise, I like to make things easy, so I'm going to pick plenty of gear. And for my starting level, I'm going to choose level 25, just so that I can skip all of the tedious work and requirements for a few of the helpful perks in the perk chart. After all of this, you are ready to start playing. Once you spawn in your selected location, another pop-up box will appear. This is for the gas masks of the Wasteland mod. I recommend choosing the custom preset, as this allows you to personally pick what you do and do not want. The mod author did a great job explaining what each of the options are, so I'm going to skip over this process. If you find out that you don't like this mod, you can always change the settings of this mod in the provided holotape to disable any features or the entire mod. The next pop-up that will appear after spawning in is for the Gun for Hire mod. I recommend choosing the Reputation mode, as this makes gameplay much more immersive. I also recommend choosing Yes for allowing game events to affect reputation. One last thing that you will need to do is go into your Miscellaneous tab inside your Pip-Boy and select the Gas Mask holotape. I recommend going into the HUD menu and selecting the HUD toggle, as this removes the gas masks from the top left of your screen. Next, go into the Gameplay menu and select Gas Mask Filter options. Then, select Filter Auto Replace menu and click on Auto Filter Replace. This will automatically change the filter of your gas mask so long as you have one in your inventory so that you don't forget. These changes are optional, and you can always keep them as is. Once you are done, go into your Apparel tab inside your Pip-Boy and select the NACX settings menu. The following changes are optional, but I do recommend them. If you receive this magazine pop-up from Backpacks of the Wasteland like I did, Just exit out of this NACX settings menu and take that magazine. Go back into the NACX settings menu and select Visual Settings, Camera, then select Noise and choose the Disable Noise option. Also do the same with the Vignette option. After this, go back to the main menu and select NAC Weathers. Go down and select Disable Rad Storms outside hazard regions. Again, these changes are all optional and ultimately are up to your personal preference. After this, go to the main menu and select NAC Settings. Click on Night Settings and select Brighter Nights. Then go back and click on Interior Override, then select Disable Interiors Lighting Override. After this, go back and select NAC Options. Click on Disable Fake Interior Darkening. Disable Weather Effects and Disable Radiation Effects. After all of this, you are done and ready to start playing.